What is the highest number of manga chapters or anime episodes you've read or watched in a single day? For me, it was apparently 101. I started reading Haikyuu on the Shonen Jump app and I just couldn't stop, right? I read to the penultimate chapter and got hit with a message telling me I'd hit the 100 chapter limit for the day. Fortunately, it was very close to midnight, it was way past my bedtime, so I didn't have to wait long to read the final chapter. And to this day, I've yet to see any other series come close to Haikyuu. It is without a doubt my all-time favourite and probably always will be. Many years later, we got the devastating, baffling announcement that all those chapters would be crammed into just 2 short movies. Whilst incredibly frustrating, with the source material being so good, it would be a nearly impossible task to mess up. And yet they almost managed it. I watched the Battle at the Garbage Dump a few days ago, and at the time it felt phenomenal. The rallies felt incredibly well animated and really unique compared to anything else I'd seen before. I really felt the intensity of the game, and there were some really moving parts on top of that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But of course, there were quite a few scenes I was looking forward to seeing that just never happened. Now, I'm not someone who thinks, an anime adaptation has to 100% match every detail from the manga, right? Sometimes things to be omitted or moved around for the episode format so that, each one can end at a point that makes you want to watch more. And I honestly have no issue with that. If they tried to follow the manga 100% exactly all the time, we wouldn't have had moments like Kenma's point of view shot. And either way, I certainly don't agree that an adaptation is bad because it left out a detail or two. I get that in a series like Haikyuu, you can pick just about any panel and there'll be someone who loves it and really wants to see it animated, and that's part of why it's such a phenomenal show. But again, when a couple small details are cut, I honestly don't mind. However, I'm sure you can see where this is going. Although I walked out the cinema very satisfied with the film, over the coming days, the more I thought about it, the more annoyed I became. It was bad enough that we're going to get 2 films instead of a season 5, but when those films run for just 1 hour 20, and the only reason I can think of for that is greed. It's not as though we had that justification we had earlier of trying to work around an episode schedule. It's not as though it enhanced the movie either. I'm sure there were people out there who like the super fast pacing, but for me personally, the whole point of Nekoma is that they're a team that are a real slog to play against because of how tenacious they are. It was supposed to be this long drawn out battle of Karasuno trying to crack their defense, and it just didn't really feel like it. And the only reason I can see as to why it was so short was to save money. If you've seen my other video on this where I went through the rate that the movie went through in comparison to the previous seasons, we can see that an extra 50% duration, i.e. if it was 2 hours, would have given it a relatively similar rate per chapter in comparison to the previous seasons. Of course, it would have cost them a bit more, but even an extra 25%, so 1 hour 40, would have really allowed the film to reach the potential it should have. And the fact that we were denied that for just cost saving feels so frustrating. And I can only hope that having seen the success of the film, they give the next one a bit more time to breathe. But yeah. Sorry, I know I said after the last video I'd go back to my usual content afterwards, but I've not really had the time to make a full video this week, and I did get a lot of requests for this one, but anyway, cheers for watching, and the next video will be Kenma, so see you soon for that.